few weeks ago, or maybe about a month ago, I went back to kind of looking back at my old posts as a teenager. And wow, it was definitely a deep dive for me. And I feel like that's obviously common because when you look back at old pictures or videos, you're just like, Jesus, like what happened? I don't know. And I want to share my different eras with y'all because it's obviously related to today's topic. So my first era of posting myself online, putting myself online, is doing song covers. And sometimes I used to do covers of covers. You know, if someone did a mashup of a cover, I would cover that. I was in that era. I'm a Filipino girl. I grew up singing and I really liked it. But was it like gonna be a thing? I thought at the time, yes, but obviously it didn't happen that way because singing in general, so much training, so much time. You have to rehearsal, everything like that to become a singer. And it just wasn't my cup of tea once I was getting older. But anyways, I was thinking I was going to be the next, like, I don't know what I thought this at the time. I was like the next female Ed Sheeran. Right. right. The next phase of my life of posting myself was doing videography. I took a videography class and I did video projects and I did them with my friends. And I did like 2 mockumentaries and a music video, which is really cool, and I still appreciate those videos. Even though obviously you'll critique yourself and all that, I still appreciate them regardless. Obviously, since it was my last year of high school, everyone else moved on, and I somewhat took a break. And then COVID happened. This is the next era of my life. At the time, enjoyed watching reaction videos, commentary videos, and I thought I could do it, and I did. But did I keep going? No. I did not. When I look at it now, I feel like I have somewhat of an understanding, but the thing is I suck at describing things. It sounds like I'm making it too hard on myself about it, like when I describe something, when it could be easily executed while I'm talking. But no, I make it difficult because I'm like, no, that doesn't sound smart enough. So I just kind of gave up on it, or the idea of doing this type of content. Moving on to 2022, I liked jewelry at the time. I still do. But at the time, I liked it a lot more. And if you see these chunky hands, they are thicky hands. And when you go to a jewelry store, like the sizings are like more on the average size finger. Or like around, maybe like the average is like size 4 to maybe 9. It's never over 9. Sometimes, but not all the time. They would have to adjust it for you. But most of the time they don't. You either buy it or you don't. I think that's just been my personal experience of trying to buy jewelry, or at least rings. So I was thinking, like, how can I find a better way to maybe make it myself? And I discovered wired jewelry. I was on that type of shit for like a while. This was when the start of my small business happened. It was around like 2022 or late 2022, maybe like September. And I started making, wired jewelry, mostly rings. But I made this beginners type of thing. And I kind of realized I wasn't fully enjoying it anymore. So I gave that up for a little bit. I was trying to find another creative outlet for me. And then around 2023 of March, which is basically 2 years now, I learned crochet. And that is basically what I do on my small business. Now I've been crocheting for 2 years. And I would confidently say I'm really good at it. I wouldn't say I'm like at a point where I'm like thinking of amazing ideas. No, I wouldn't say that. But I think whenever I crochet, like my stitches are neat, they're in line, it looks good when it's the end result. Point blank period. After looking back at all of these eras of life, of myself from a teenager to a young adult, That's almost like 10, 11 years of myself trying to do some type of content. And of course, when I was looking at my younger self, I'm like, man, this is cringy. I can't believe I thought of this as a video idea. You know what I mean? But do I regret any of it? Absolutely not. As like a young adult, how I post stuff, I really don't think about it. Meaning, I don't think about people seeing it, especially on TikTok. When you post on TikTok, it is so great because you don't know anybody. That's what's so great about it. And it's not even a diss to say that. It's not a mean thing. And it's not that I don't want to know anybody from there. But it's just like you don't know anybody. You don't know anybody in your personal life. And I've experienced this where people in my actual life are all on my Instagram. Because when you first meet people or when you're getting to know somebody, whether that's becoming friends or acquaintance to them, you ask like the one or two questions that you ask is, oh, can I get your Instagram? Or can I get your Snapchat? I don't know about Snapchat. I stopped using it after high school. And I just think it's a weird place because of obvious reasons. If you know, you know. But yeah, most of the time when you're meeting somebody, you ask for their Instagram. A lot of the people that I know, or family and friends, close family and friends, see my stuff on there. Is it scary to think about? Sometimes, for sure. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I enjoy posting at any platform and just seeing where it goes. If you are someone who has been wanting to post online, don't be scared. That's all, don't be scared, but obviously be cautious that people will be seeing it. And also consider that you will get some sort of hate on whatever you share, or you'll get criticized for what you do, because that's just life. That's just the life on the internet, is you always will be considered cringy for what you do, or you will be criticized for what you do online. Because trust me when I say this, people in my real life or people that have seen my stuff have asked me, like, how do you do it? And again, this is my own brain, but I really just don't think about it. I don't think about people that much anymore. I do have somewhat of an advantage because I started when I was really young. And again, I'm not claiming that I'm a success, but I have shared myself online since I was a teenager. So I somewhat have an advantage. But again, you have to realize and you have to come to an understanding when it comes to posting is that you will be criticized regardless. Doesn't matter. That's just always going to be a thing. And you'll be considered cringy at times. I want to give an example of someone who has been considered cringy at the start of their career to now honestly being a potential pop icon. And that is Addison Rae. 2019 to 2021, this era was definitely like the rise of TikTok. And around this time, a lot of people or a lot of popular content creators would just post like dancing videos or post like some, I wouldn't say questionable, but like kind of cringy TikTok sounds, if you know what I'm saying. Bella Poarch. When Bella Poarch got popular, she used like a TikTok sound of her doing like this cute, like moving her face. And like, oh god, ew, ew, ew. If you know the lore of that, you know the lore of that, or just look it up, honestly. Addison Rae, yes, was considered cringy at the time, and then she got into her first film, He's All That, which is a reboot of the 2000s film, She's All That. He's All That was not received well. It was kind of similar to the feel of like The Kissing Booth, right? Is it something I would watch again? Yes. Like, I love bad films. That is just me. I'm just that girl. And then her first song, which was Obsessed, I believe, was also not perceived well. She had three things. TikTok was cringy, but listen, I'm giving it grace because it was considered cool at the time. But her first film, her first lead role, and her first song was not great. It was not perceived well. Cut to the last year. Oh my god. Literal pop icon. I'll say this is an underrated take. When you look at her first EP, Nothing On But the Radio. Oh my god. So good. Okay. Please, y'all, listen to that song. And then Von Dutch with Charlie XCX. Aston Ray was a feature on that song. She killed it. She was so good on that song. Oh my god. Also, Pepsi. Are you dumb? Diet Pepsi. Such a good song. Aston Ray has killed it with those 3 songs. I'm mentioning on the Nothing On But the Radios because I really liked that song. And even the last 2 songs she's put out recently, I think Aquamarine, and there's another song that came out literally like a few weeks ago. Was it called Fashion? High Fashion. Not my cup of tea for those songs, I'm not gonna lie. But I get what she's doing. I respect it. I was like, I can't describe it, but I understand what she's doing. The reason why I brought up Aston Ray is because she's such a great example of someone who started her career not so great. I wouldn't say not so great, but I think her first film and first song was like, this is cringy. Like, why is she doing this? And now she could honestly, I'm waiting for an album at this point. If she puts an album in the summer, I'm definitely tuning in. Not even a question. My whole point of today's episode is that if you have an idea or if you want to post online, just don't think of anybody, because guess what? They're going to criticize you or think you're cringy for doing it. Don't let them win. Don't let them win. And guess what? These people who think you're cringy for doing this, they don't got the balls. They don't got the balls, the chops to do it themselves. Trust me. That is all I have to say on this week's episode of Real Small Talk. Thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in. I made breakfast. I made a breakfast sandwich. It was really great. I love breakfast. I'm a slut when it comes to breakfast sandwiches. Yeah. And I also make coffee. So basic girl. So basic girl coded. Anyways, if you want to keep up with this podcast, I am on Spotify, TikTok, and Instagram at Real Small Talk Podcast. If you want to keep up with my small business, Instagram, TikTok, at Made by Moreo. Hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Bye! Oh my god. I've missed doing that. See ya! Do not post for others. Post for yourself. Post because you like. Do you guys hear that? Oh my god. Right. Like, I get it. You're trying to. The cops are trying to be the main character, or the hospital's trying to be the main character. Anyways.